Oh my, now we come to the fun part, the zooms. This is video number 3. First video was wide-angle primes, and second video was mid-range primes. And now we have the zooms from Fujifilm. One lens we do not have here, because it will not come out until next year, is the 8 to 16 millimeter ultra-wide-angle zoom lens from Fuji. I bet that's wonderful. Don't know it yet, obviously. It's my second favorite Fujifilm lens out of the entire bunch, and I own all of them except for the 18 millimeter, which I absolutely do not like. And here we go, the 50 to 140, basically 70 to 200 millimeter equivalent Fujifilm lens. Absolutely love it. Oh, I can't see myself without this, the 50 to 140. Sorry, I'm suffering from a cold here. If you wonder why it sounds slightly odd, it's because I'm suffering from a cold or the flu. The 50 to 140 Fujifilm lens, absolutely love it. Love it. Did I mention I love it? Here's the one lens that everybody seems to have, and this is the one lens I would actually reject first out of this pile. And that's not to say it's not wonderful. It's a f2 to f4 18 to 55 millimeter Fujifilm lens. It is actually excellent. It does have even image stabilization. Wonderful. However, compared to its big honking brother, let me bring it over here, the 16 to 55 fixed f2.8. Yeah, the 16 to 55 is better, even though it does not have image stabilization. Fujifilm said that the circle of projection would not allow for the movement of the circle of projection with image stabilization, because it was just cutting it too close for corner to corner on the 16 to 55. At least that's what Fujifilm says. By the way, for video users, and I'm not a video user, the 16 to 55 was specifically designed to be basically noiseless for video use on the Fujifilm. If you're considering on using the 18 to 55, that is no bueno. This would be the first lens that I would reject, even though I got a couple of these lenses. It's an absolutely excellent lens. Nothing wrong with it whatsoever. But out of all the Fujifilm lenses that I have, I would grab for, yes, I know, it's basically twice as big, the big honking beast, the 16 to 55. I still would opt for the 16 to 55. There's nothing to sneeze about on the 18 to 55. However, I myself, with a cold, have been sneezing all day long. Love the 16 to 55. It's possibly my third favorite Fujifilm lens. Here we go. I guess this is going to be supplanted by the 8 to 16 millimeter when Fuji rolls out with it in the first part of 2018. Here we have the 10 to 24 Fujifilm. This is a bit of a fragile lens. More than a few people said they've taken it for landscape photography and it broke on them. Well, actually, I can only count 4 people that I've heard that from. There's no such thing as a weather-sealed lens. Anyway, it does have optical image stabilization. It is not even marked, of course, a weather-sealed lens, but all the O-rings in the world will not protect any lens or camera from not short-term invasive, but long-term pervasive, i.e. corrosion. I love the 10 to 24 millimeter. I'm not an architectural landscape photographer. However, I use the 10 to 24 quite a bit. Love it to death. It is noisy as hell. It's slow autofocus lens, but last I checked, architecture and landscape don't move very fast, so that's not really an issue, is it? That's the 10 to 24 millimeter Fujifilm. That's a f4 lens. In no particular order, let me move on to the third lens, along with the 18 to the 135. These are always the 3 lenses that I travel with. Usually the 50 millimeter f2 prime, always the 18 to 135, and almost always the 55 to 200. The 55 to 200 is awesome. It's a 3.5 to 4.8 lens. Does have image stabilization. It's absolutely exquisite. Love it. Would not part with it. 18 to 135. At first, I was actually remiss on this lens, but now I've actually grown to love it. It's possibly my fourth. I think it's probably my 4th favorite lens after the 16 millimeter, the 50 to 140, and the 16 to 55. I know it is an ultra zoom lens. However, Fujifilm really did pull this lens off extremely well. The 18 to 135. Love it to death. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. One of the last lenses that I acquired, and the only reason it was one of the last lenses that I acquired, let me move the rest of these out of the way to make room for this big mama, is the 100 to 400 millimeter Fujifilm. I also recently purchased the 1.4 teleconverter, which only works on 3 lenses. This, the 100 to 400, the 50 to 140, and the soon to come out next month 80 millimeter macro Fujifilm lens. One mistake a lot of people make on this is that they forget to, at slower shutter speeds, set their camera to OIS stabilization number 2. Anybody that's been complaining about blurry images from this lens and complaining about the lens has been making a mistake. What they've had it on is OIS number 1, which was continuous all-time stabilization. OIS number 2 means that image stabilization only kicks in as you actually press the shutter release button all the way down. So people are making mistakes shooting at slower shutter speeds with OIS 1 and then complaining that this image is, this lens is not that sharp or it's blurry. And what they're doing is it's user error. I made a video about this before, so it's something to keep note of. But I absolutely love the 100 to 400. It is bulky. I don't like the fact that it is a bit plasticky. Other people have actually complained about it being plasticky. Actually, it's much better made than every current Nikkor lens that Nikon is making, except for their hardcore all-metal Japanese lenses, of which they don't make many anymore. But it's very well priced. It's one of the red badge lenses, and I absolutely love it. It would not be the first lens that I grab, because I am a huge fan of the 200 to 500 millimeter Nikkor on a Nikon D500 or the Nikon D850. But absolutely love it. I love it on my Fujifilm X-T2, and if you use it correctly in slower shutter speeds specifically and put it on OIS number 2, then you will not have any image with blurry lenses. And I absolutely especially love it now that I've been test driving it with the 1.4 teleconverter on this lens. So that's it for my considerations. Like I said, the only lens that I would leave out would be the 18 to 55 millimeter f2 to f4. And basically everybody owns this lens, so a lot of people are going to complain when I actually say that. So, well, how could you say that? I have this lens and I own it. Everybody else has it and I own it. I agree with you. It's wonderful. But I know this lens is twice as big, easily, and it has no image stabilization. But it is a better lens as far as image, corner to corner, and resolution. All tests confirm that, and I can certainly confirm that as well. Nothing beats a basic. Basically, these are 24 to 70 2.8 equivalents. Well, specifically, this one is, since it's a fixed 2.8, and this one's a fixed, not a fixed, but rather a 2.8 to f4. So that's it. That's video number 3, wrapping up all of Fujifilm's zoom lenses. Like I said, the lens that's not here is the 8 to 16 millimeter, which is not out yet. Can't wait to get my hands on it. I can't even pre-order it yet, but I will certainly have it. Thank you so much for watching. If you like these videos, you can click the link below, because I don't have affiliate links like everybody else, and any small donation is appreciated. Or you can tell me to jump off a cliff or in a bottomless pit, whichever makes you happy. Thank you so much for watching. Fuji!